Hi everybody, welcome to the session 2 of AC Fundamentals. In the first session, we have seen some of the definitions part related to the alternating quantities, and also we have derived some equations for RMS and average values of full rectified sine wave and also half rectified sine wave. In this session, I would like to deal with some more waveforms for finding out the form factor and peak factors, and also phase difference. First of all, let me consider the triangular wave here, which has got a period of 0 to t, and let us suppose the maximum value of this waveform is Vm, and this point will be t by 2. Exactly at t by 4 it is going to have the maximum value, and for this waveform, in order to find out the form factor or peak factor, first we have to derive the RMS value and the average values. Observe this waveform carefully. From 0 to this particular point, initially this is origin, so this point will be 0 comma 0, and let us say this point is A, B and C, D. I am considering some points here. The point A will be the x coordinate is t by 4 and y coordinate is Vm here. So point A can be written as t by 4 comma Vm, and similarly this point is t by 2 comma 0, and point C will be 3t by 4 comma minus Vm, and this point will be capital T comma 0, and whatever values are there between this interval to this interval, the same are going to be repeated between t by 4 to t by 2 and t by 2 to 3t by 4 and so on. Hence it would be easy for us to consider the average and RMS values of this waveform just from 0 to t by 4. Hence what I shall do here is I find out the average value for this waveform over a period of 0 to t by 4. For that sake, we need to find out the equation of this straight line passing through the origin. So first let us find out the equation of V of t. So generally the equation of a straight line passing through origin will be of the form of y is equal to m into x. So here y coordinate is related to the voltage and the x-axis is related to the time, and we need to find out the slope of this equation. Here the 2 points are 0, 0, t by 4 comma Vm, and we know the formula for finding out the slope, the difference of y coordinates divided by the difference of x coordinates. So Vm minus 0 gives Vm divided by the difference of x coordinates is t by 4 minus 0. So this will give us 4 Vm divided by t. Hence the average value can be written as, so before that let me write down the equation here. The equation V of t now becomes equal to 4 Vm by t is the slope multiplied by t. Now 1 by the time here we are going to consider is t by 4, integral of 0 to t by 4 V of t dt. So V of t is now equal to 4 Vm by t into t dt. So this is equal to 4 by t. We can take this 4 Vm by t outside, and integral of t will be equal to t square by 2 over 0 to t by 4, and this is equal to 16 Vm by t square into 1 by 2 into, so t square over 0 to t by 4 becomes equal to capital T square by 16. So here you can cancel this t square, 16 and 16. So which will lead to Vm by 2 as the average value. Similarly, you can also find out the RMS value. The formula for finding out the RMS value is equal to square root of 1 by time, that is 1 by t by 4 integral over 0 to t by 4. Here we have to consider v of t square, so that implies 4 Vm by t whole square into t square dt under square root. So this is equal to square root of 4 by t into, so this is 16 Vm square by t square, you can take outside, 16 Vm square by t square. Integral of t square will become t cube by 3 over 0 to t by 4, and this is equal to square root of 16 into 4, 64 Vm square by t cube multiplied by 1 by 3. T cubed between the intervals 0 to t by 4 will give rise to t cube by 64. 4 cube is 64. So here we are going to have 64 will be cancelled, t cube, square root of Vm square by 3, which is equal to Vm by root 3, and this is the RMS value. So once we find out the RMS value and average value, we can go for the calculation of form factor and peak factor. So here I am writing down the form factor is equal to RMS value by average value. So Vm by root 3 divided by Vm by 2. This is equal to 2 by root 3 gives rise to a value of approximately 1.15 as the form factor. Similarly, you can find out peak factor. It is equal to the maximum value by RMS value. So Vm divided by the RMS value is Vm by root 3. So this will give the value equal to root 3 as the peak factor. So that is how we can find out the form factor and peak factor for any given alternating waveform by evaluating just the RMS values and average values. For this, we need to evaluate the equation first over a period of time. So next, we shall go through a PowerPoint presentation which is going to explain you clearly the phase and phase difference of alternating quantities. Let us move on to the PowerPoint. Let me explain you the phase of an alternating quantity here. Generally, the phase of an alternating quantity is the angular measure that specifies the position of the alternating quantity with respect to a reference. Generally, 0 is considered as the reference. Here, let me consider three waveforms originating from at different intervals of theta. The first one is represented with the blue. It starts from origin, theta is equal to 0 position, and the equation for this waveform is given as V is equal to Vm sin theta. And the second one, which is represented with yellow, is going to start at an angle alpha ahead from the origin, and the equation for this is given as V is equal to Vm sin of theta plus alpha, and it will have some positive value which is equal to Vm sin of alpha at theta is equal to 0, and it will have its 0 value at theta is equal to minus alpha. And next, the red one is going to start at an angle of beta from the origin, and the equation for this waveform is given as V is equal to Vm sine of theta minus beta. It will have its zero value at theta is equal to beta. Next, let us go through the phase difference of alternating quantities. Basically, it is defined as the difference between the phase angles of any two alternating waveforms. To illustrate that, I am considering three coils which are placed in the magnetic field. This example is going to tell us why this phase angle difference is going to happen between two alternating quantities. Here, if you observe carefully, these three coils are placed at different positions in the magnetic field. Red one is considered as coil 1 in position 1. Similarly, yellow color represents the coil in position 2, which is the reference here, and blue one is the coil in position 3. Here, we also consider the angle between uh, red one and yellow one as beta, and alpha between yellow and blue. So this is the magnetic field, and in this magnetic field we are considering the positions of the coils, and when this system is rotated in anti-clockwise direction, first EMF will be induced in uh, the red coil, and later on in the yellow one, and afterwards the EMF will be induced in the blue coil. Let me explain you with the help of the waveforms. First EMF will be induced in the red or the first coil after a delay of beta. So beta is the time angle difference here between red one and yellow one. So after a delay of time angle beta, yellow is going to be generated, and again there from alpha the blue waveform is going to be generated. Let me explain you in the next slide in detail this concept. Again, I am considering the three waveforms here. First, coil 1 is going to have the EMF induced represented by the red color, and after a delay of beta, yellow waveform is going to be generated, because this time angle difference is going to happen because of the position of the coils in the magnetic field. They are placed such that the time angle difference between them is beta. Hence, we say that the EMF induced in the red coil or the red phase is going to lead the yellow one by an angle of beta, or you can say in other way, the EMF induced in yellow one is going to lag behind the red one by an angle beta. So here leading or lagging always is said with respect to the reference. Similarly, the other one, if you consider the blue waveform, it is going to originate after a time delay of alpha from the yellow one. This next in the next video, I would like to explain you the difference between this mechanical angle and electrical angle. Now let me explain you the relationship between the mechanical angle theta m and the electrical angle theta e. So generally these are going to be measured. They are going to be represented in terms of theta m and theta e. And 180 degrees electrical, it is considered as the distance between the north pole and consecutive south pole of a magnetic field system. Generally, this distance is going to be measured in terms of number of slots. Say, when we consider a two-pole system, here we are going to have a north pole and a south pole, and in this particular example, theta mechanical and theta electrical both are going to be the same, because 180 degrees electrical means here we consider the distance between the north pole and the south pole. Here that is equivalent to the mechanical 180 degrees. So here theta m is equal to theta e. And when you consider a 4-pole system, here if we consider the mechanical angle between the north pole and the consecutive south pole, it will be equal to 90 degrees, whereas this 90 degrees is equivalent to our electrical 180 degrees, because it constitutes the distance between one north pole and one consecutive south pole. So here theta e 180 degrees electrical is equal to theta m multiplied by 2. So here 2 means the number of pairs of poles. We have 4 poles, hence the number of pairs of poles will be equal to 2. So 90 into 2 becomes equal to 180 degrees. Similarly, when you consider a 6-pole system, so here when you consider a 6-pole system, the physical mechanical angle between the north pole and consecutive south pole will be equal to 60 degrees, whereas this will be equivalent to our 180 degrees electrical. Hence here theta electrical will be equal to theta mechanical multiplied by 3, whereas this 3 refers to number of pairs of poles. Hence we can have the relationship between theta electrical is equal to theta mechanical multiplied by number of pairs of poles. So this concludes the session, and in the next session I will deal the complex numbers, and there we shall see the relationship between the complex numbers and AC quantities, and how the AC waveforms are going to be represented in complex numbers in different forms, like rectangular form, polar form, like that. And to get all these updates, subscribe to my channel. Have a nice time. Thank you for watching. Bye.